Welcome to Judge of Ghana TV. Akwa Baba, Judge of Ghana TV. So, it's Mother's Day today all over the world. It is the 11th of May, 2025. And I would like to say happy Mother's Day to all mothers around the world. Thank you for joining me. Today, we'll talk about the return of Vice President Naana Opoku-Agyemang. Na utumu say nyame aye dwuma e wo say dey asedame nyame because she's looking fit and healthy and as elegant as ever. Thank God for his mercies. We thank God for her life. And I pray that God will sustain her so she can do her job as Vice President of the Republic of Ghana over the next 4 years. Something that Apostle Francis Amwakwanta said, which really gave me hope. The other day, he said, I think it was just after National Democratic Congress had been elected, I watched a video, and he said, the reason why God allowed John Dramani Mahama, that was his interpretation, to win the elections on December 2024 was because for the 70th anniversary of Ghana, God needs a man and a woman. So he said, it was symbolic of, it has some significance spiritually. So if that's the case, and Ghana is not yet 70 years old, my prayer was that, what I've been praying for all this time was that Naana Opoku-Agyemang will be able to stay in office and execute her office for her tenure of 4 years. That has been my prayer. And God should have mercy. And I believe God has heard the prayer, because the Bible says God hears the prayer of the righteous. So we thank God for that. Now, I want to talk about the viral video of Honorable Sammy Gyamfi, the CEO of Gold Board and Agrada, giving dollars. Some people say $1,000, some say $2,000 to Nana Agrada. So, same way, dear Sammy Gyamfi, honestly, in my opinion, one yard. Sammy Gyamfi, 1 yard, but then Rebecca, damage is already done. Glass no at all from abobo into means sebium, and the Rebecca say kafra. Na person share video bi prophecy bi a revelation bi a Nana Kwakye Ofosu apostle enya aye efa Sammy Gyamfi ho last month. Ye will May munya na April, and I'll be can April, or there are 2 videos. So and in some okay, media me say somehow no a link to debacle and at the back here, Sammy Gyamfi akoya what to papa so with Agrada any dollars he. We believe it say and no any who from me. Nti asama
adia etoso me hu amanyoku a wodi ade ona brantie ba ko yo kandifo a na okasama wo me hu se emrantie won sunuma pue ema oman yakanie na ne nsoroma ɛka ho bi afei mehu sɛ nsoroma no ate na ɛreba nsoroma no te a ɛreba no na akɔtɔ tete ɛka mu wonim ɛka ankɔtɔ gata mu ankɔtɔ nsuo mu mehu sɛ ne nsoroma no teeɛ na wɔn de wɔn a ɛdi adeɛ a akanni huhu wɔ mu ɛbɛgyina hɔ kae sɛ yɛka ma mpanin di a yɛntwerɛ ma obiara ho sɛ ɔna ɔdie na obi a wɔani hu na obi nsoroma na wɔn a ɛrɛ amanyɔsɛm no wɔn mu no wohunu wɔn nsoroma a ɛhyehyɛ NPP ne NDC mmeranteɛ nyinara a ɛda wɔn so bie ma mpanin yɛntwerɛ sɛ obi ba nko a na di bie yie anaa ma nko a me nso mete yɛ me ba anaa me di bie a ɛtumi yɛ yie but wɔn a ɛde wɔn ho ahyɛ mu no wɔn nsoroma no hu a sɛ wɔn a pɛ sɛ yɛ amanyɔ ɛbɛbu wɔn man no ɛna mɛ yɛ hunu wɔn nsɛm ɛka no na mehunu aberanteɛ a na amanyɔkuo di adeɛ a na ɔno ɔkasa ma amanyɔkuo no na mehu sɛ ne nsoroma no teeɛ no na akɔtɔ ɛka mu ɛyɛ tete adeyɔ enti na ɛkɔtɔ ɔka mu ɛnɛ ka ni hɔ ba tete adeyɔ baabi a efie kɛseɛ mu tete bere mu no te sɛ kumasi fie a baabi edware no ɛkɔtaeɛ akyire ɛyɛ maa ne yɛahwe emu na aberanteɛ no so ma kɔtɔɔyɛ na nsoroma no ɛkɔtɔɔ mu no ɛwɔ asekyerɛ na deɛ ehu ne sɛ nsoroma no so tee a ɛreba no na ɛwɔ sɛ otumi ɛhwɛ ɛde n'ani di akyire no na ogyina hɔ confidently ɛna adeɛ no kɔtɔɔ ɛka mu ampia ntani bio ɛde yie ba bɛbuom na yɛde koodi akyerɛw krakye no baabi a na ɔkeka kɔ no ade bi bɛdura ma no daakye bi no na ne di afirim ne di afirim no yɛ odi a ɛnyɛ yɛ bio ne ho nyɛ akɔnɔ ɛmma saa didie no bio na ɛwɔ n'asekyerɛ very deep momfa yɛ no mu nsɛm ni agorɔ
nti asɛm a Apostle Nana Kwate amanfo kan ɛno na aba mu no saa na mimi ho no nti as they say care sera what will be ɛno ana aba mu no nti to be honest no from where I'm sitting no the akoso no say Sammy Gyamfi etumi yi ni bottom sika up to $2,000 between $1,000 and $2,000 edema agrada nipa onsem fata oka insem hunu efa John Dramani Mahama His Excellency na wetumi ehia na ma na $2,000 eden ena wo pa akire what are you going to gain? It's just going to be it's not good for National Democratic Congress supporters. It's not a good look. I told you something, and I said the perception of a matter is more important than the actual matter itself. The perception that has been created by Sammy Gyamfi giving this monies to Agrada, whether $1,000 or $2,000, because Agrada claims it's 1,000. But other people on social media claim it's 2,000. It has created some sort of hypocrisy, some sort of mistrust between the, amongst those who campaigned greatly for National Democratic Congress. For me, I'm a Ghana first person, so I'm not really for any party. I'm for what is best for Ghana. But it's a big shame because it reminds me of what Evangelist Diana Samoa said. She said after the New Patriotic Party failed to lost the election, in one of her broadcasts on social media, she said, I'm not bothered what party comes into power because I can waltz into any organization and get a contract. Diana Samoa said something. She said, I don't care what party comes into power because I can waltz into any office and get a government contract. That is the words of Diana Samoa. So, what has happened is not a good look. The perception and the optics are wrong. The optics are wrong. But, and it seems like the prophecy or the revelation of Apostle Naana Kwakye Ofosu has come to pass, because I don't think that Ghanaians will forgive, at least the NDC faithful voters will forgive Sammy Gyamfi for this one. So if he's had any ambitions of becoming the president of Ghana, he should forget it. Sammy Gyamfi should forget it, because I don't think that this is an unforgivable mistake, because now we have social media. In the past, when we didn't have social media, if you do something like this, no one will really hear about it, so you can get away with it. But now with social media, nothing you do is ever forgotten. So I have to trust that what Apostle Naana Kwakye Ofosu said is what is happening. So if he's got any plans of becoming president of Ghana, it's come to an end. Anyway, let's move on.
This is a national security emergency. We have an imminent threat.
One of the big cases against Kwabena Boahene is that he had opened accounts. So he has a National Signals Bureau account. Then he opens another account, which is personal to him. Then he moves money from his account into the National Signals Bureau account. That's the allegation against him. Ladies and gentlemen and viewers, here is a letter of 8th October 2018. It is written to the Chief Executive, Advantage Solutions Limited, East Legon, Accra. Attention, Miss Angela Ejay Boateng. Now, who is Angela Ejay Boateng? Angela Ejay Boateng is the same said wife of Kwabena Boahene. And this is a letter from on the National Security letterhead. Let's see what the letter says. Okay. It says as follows. Okay. It starts from here. It says, following discussions held with the Universal Merchant Bank, UMB, and subsequent agreements reached on statutory documentation required for account opening, your kind assistance is sought and approval is hereby given to open and operate special operations accounts in the name of the BNC Communications Bureau Limited, to which the Director of Government Communications Headquarters must be signatory for special operations under the Integrated National Security Communications Enhancement Network, Alpha Project. So you see, we are beginning to see the classification. They are calling the project Alpha. The project is Integrated National Security Communications Enhancement Network, Alpha Project. Point 2, kindly note that the Alpha Project is tax exempt as approved by Parliament of Ghana, and the Director of the Communications Headquarters shall account to the National Security Coordinator on the operation of the accounts. 3, your kind cooperation and willingness to assist in this matter is greatly appreciated. Warm regards. Signed, Joshua Chreme, National Security Coordinator. CC Director. So the account that we have been talking about, that account that every journalist is worried about why did he open an account in his own name? This is the letter of 8th October 2018, which undergird the purpose of opening that account and closes with all legality because it is authorized by Joshua Chreme, who signed it, who is the National Security Coordinator. There are some minutes here. It's a PA is minuted to. So he's telling the wife of Kwabena Boahene, and in one of the documents, as I'll be showing you, Kwabena Boahene talked about how their relatives sometimes are used as national security operatives. So they go through a process, they go through polygraph tests and all of that, and then they become national security conduits for national security to do certain things, but they need a trusted agent. That's the difficulty of the story we are dealing with, viewers. And I really wish that we don't have this discussion in the media. that at least he can be held in court in camera or somewhere. These are matters that are concerning to national security. And it's very, 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 very delicate. So it's really worrying that you go on social media yesterday and every radio station is now serializing something that ought to be a critical national security matter. I don't understand why our politics is getting this way, that we are so NDC and MPP that Ghana must suffer, Ghana must die. We are all NDC and MPP, but in the middle, in the front, is the red, gold, green. We should remember that at the basic minimum. We should remember that. It's the red, gold, green that gives us electoral victories. It's the red, gold, green that gives us a parliament of 276. It's the red, gold, green that gives us a judiciary. It is very important. Why do we railroad politics in a way that is now, these are the, even people who are NDC, lawyers who are NDC, go to social media. They are complaining that, but did our people know everything? Is it true? Is what is happening true? Anyway, so this is the letter that was written by Joshua Agyemang. Let me end on the letter so we have one file, and then I will come to the next one. So let's get back to the letter. So this is the letter that was written by Joshua Agyemang. So the National Security Coordinator, and he said it in the letter, he said that the operations shall report and they shall account to the National Security Coordinator on the operation of the accounts. So the account is created on the authority of the National Security Coordinator. It's a private account in UMB. And he says that, Angela, open that account. Angela Boahene, open that account. The co-signatory will be Kwame Boahene, your husband, who is there. But the account shall be operated and accounted to the National Security Coordinator. The National Security Coordinator is the one who runs the national security apparatus. So there is a National Security Coordinator today. He must have an idea about some of these things. And even if they are prosecuting people within national security, the National Security Coordinator must be the one supplying the information. I'm not sure how it works, but it would appear so, that if you are prosecuting the Minister for Roads, and there's something that has been done at Roads that was very wrong, and for which reason you are prosecuting the minister, it is the current minister who is the complainant. When the governments come to power, the Attorney General is waiting for the ministers to inherit what they inherit, see whether they are anomalies, send the anomalies to state agencies, CID, YOCO, everywhere for them to investigate, and then it comes to the Attorney General. So we don't know whether the national security apparatus of today are part of this process and whether what they have to say about this. And that's why the letters from Kwame Boahene was written to the National Security Coordinator, not even to the prosecution. Let me add one more thing before I end this segment. We understand, and all the media people with deep throats understand, that there is a meeting that is being converged at about this afternoon or tomorrow, where national security operatives, high profile, of the past and of the present, are hoping to meet the president, the commander-in-chief, and share with him their thoughts on these processes. We understand that that's happening, and that may have a significant impact on the trial of Kwame Boahene. But we will give you that information when it happens, that they are going to meet the president. Some are from his party, some are from the other party. All of them security bosses looking around and thinking that, this one is tough. We need to go and sit with the president, because they don't like this media thing. Nobody who has had the most basic relationship with security would appreciate what is happening in Ghana over the last 2 days. We have had calls from everywhere. The Nigerians are laughing at us. The Ghana, to what childish business is this? Why is your social media showing cars you bought for former presidents, money you gave to MPs? What is going on in Ghana? But anyway, maybe it's an opportunity for all of us to understand what happens within the system. Okay.
Now, I want us to look at the Kwame Boahene letter from remand. I want you to take a look at this video before we continue, and then we'll talk about it. These are excerpts from January 20th, January 2025, the edition of Kweku Anand's Frontline on CTV, Ghana. Take a look at this.
Yeah, round to say where you're a for. When we are a hardcore armed robber. Now, your Moka O'Hare say, National Security Coordinator or that way. ade oyɛ ne sɛ ɔtaske maame bi wɔ national security hɔ mabɔ ne din pɛn yɛfrɛ no Dr. Victoria Sam na ɔma maame Victoria Sam led 8 national security cars makumaku ɛwɔtwe ɛbowura ewura ne fie hɔ ewura no te adenta. Now, according to my checks within the area, no, everyone do a nipa way ramonia, baby titi to him gane. Woman kosha, a ray and a dinner bag. This tiny girl. Now, guess what happened? Woman do fear honor. Woman, a rainbow shafunya pie freedom, ya handcuff you be a ranankasa handcuff eguninsa. Yeah, this guy or that screen no this edge man. Na womo handcuffo no womo ransaki fie ho nya say there is a video. I will not bring the video today until something will happen in this country. Mr. Mahama, Mr. President Mahama, media account NDC for me say this national security coordinator must set a committee of inquiry and arrest this guy and prosecute. Na samose mo ya ebribe beba mo me pusa numa mamo nunu me pusa numa mamo a the National Democratic Congress, I'm telling you people. I know enipa mugu NDC one. Muni kwekwas mini eye eko enana mokrana. I know. Nanu ya bako yamani post. One particular person in NDC on the papa way epo kosiata fria na moye nyoma, and I know everything that is going on. Or in a classmate. Yeah. Nanu ya just last week ya okojini post. Ojini post. Then down they have to move into the offense and the circles of the order. On one case, can order no. They are all parts of the order. All right. The godmother then amity. The godmother amity. We know what we know. We are part of the group. We know who we know. We are also part of the order. Kwekwas a member of the order. We know, and we are also part of the order. And now, by your hobby. My identity say a Hong Kong. Sanet you. Politics no more than one. Sometimes Ghana for Ernam Ibihuya. Seriously. In the people my own say a channel. A buy beba, yan to muda. There is a reason why. Agrona mudine yenim 1 to Z. Boni bay and the nipa ayaw enti obeye sa kwakwasmini and the businessman no yareda hon or the hospital. Yeah. Or the hospital meboa. The obetia na se banyankupo nti. Minim se businessman no obeba Ghana. Me say nyankupo nti minim se businessman no he is on his way coming to Ghana to sit and blow the cover up of all the Nipa Moshe MPP moi Mupesa Mosei Nipa. Yodi Kani Kwekwas many. Me want national security officers on my ready. Line up because Adia who said John Dramani Mahama administration. My say you will not punish these people. So they are ready to come and blow out. They don't care. So at the end of the day, yes, they sworn an oath. Woman swear oath. But the point is that, hey, come on. Oath no. It is a more punishment there. Then they will come and blow out all the top secret. The state intelligentsia, secrets and everything. They will blow it out. Yeah. When we blown out, no, when you're careful, say, our neighbors are listening. They are eavesdropping. Me and family who our neighbors here and here, they will eavesdrop. Ghana before we must teach all of you lessons, especially more. You entrusted on my responsibility in your hands. Now, most of the Ghana for any basic our and yeduma.
Take a look at this. Right. Okay, now you've seen what Kweku Anan has said. It is clear that in the Ministry of National Security, we have a problem. We have a big fat problem in the Ministry of National Security here in Ghana. We have a big fat problem. It is clear. There has to be some cleansing. There has to be a thorough investigation and a cleansing of the national security outfit. It seems like our national security personnel here in Ghana are out of order. They think they're above the law and they're doing things that are above the law, and it's not boding well for Ghana. So in my humble opinion, I have to side with Kweku Annan on this occasion in suggesting that His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama take active action and clean out the national security. And I don't think that John Dramani Mahama, you should worry yourself with so-called leaks and destroying bringing out secrets about national security that Kobna Edu Boahene, the former CEO of National Signals Board Bureau, National Signals Bureau, is saying there's no point to worry yourself about what secrets he can bring out. Let him bring all the secrets out. The whole place has to be cleansed, because clearly the type of criminality that was going on in the national security space, the type of criminality that has gone on over the last 8 years, it is mammoth, and a cleansing is needed. I was watching a film about the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America, and I realized that one thing that you notice in a lot of movies about the CIA is that they try to keep out the families of their employees or their agents. They try to keep them out of national security issues. Sometimes they even change their identities and the families are in hiding. And even some of the people in the national security don't even know who is married to who and whose children is who. Because everything is so well hidden. It's only maybe through some fluke that somebody might find out that, oh, someone has a daughter in this country or over here, and they might try to use that daughter as a bargaining chip. Because within the national security, which is the CIA, there's infighting. Sometimes people are trying to fight each other, eliminate each other so that they can take over. And I guess the same thing is happening here in Ghana. Because if you hear this story that Kweku Annan told us about, this is just excerpts. If you want the full thing, then go to my CTV and then have a look at that, watch it and at length. But these are very worrying stories. And Kweku Annan is an investigative journalist. He claims he even has videos to confirm his stories. So not only has he got reports, he's got videos. All this is evidence, and President John Dramani Mahama should have access to this and look into this matter thoroughly and cleanse the national security. Because if the national security ministry in Ghana is rotten, then the people of Ghana are doomed. These people are there to protect us. But if they are fighting among themselves, doing themselves dirty, misappropriating the funds, dishonestly appropriating the funds, abusing their power, and abusing their office, essentially, I don't see why they should be at post. Maybe we're better off not having a national security or reducing it to bare bones. so that only trustworthy people are in that ministry. If that's what it takes for us to have, because there's no confidentiality in the national security. If you listen to the story that's been narrated by Kwakye, there's no confidentiality. They sign these confidentiality agreements and they come and they say opposite because they are loose-lipped. They are not discreet. So that means that we have a problem. We have a problem. Something must be done. And it's urgent. So the fact that Boahene, who has been, charged by the Attorney General with, is it 9 charges? 8 or 9 charges to do with dishonest appropriation and fraud, is now sitting in jail because he's on remand and writing letters threatening to expose the secrets of the national security architecture in Ghana. It's a very dangerous situation for us to be in. A serious ankasa. And so say yetna ho. Na yedi we ye agro. E wo say ye tu asie. Na de Omampenyi John Mahama betumi aya obetumi tu asie no onye as soon as possible. And yes sir. Enko ye wo omanmu because sankrofon wo hwe enema omo ye they out of order. They are out of order because say utumi kachere me say letter wo de ama Paul Adomochre na Paul Adomochre analyze because obi enim say Paul Adomochre de wo ye MPP ni bapa enti de obeken bia no o ka ma MPP fo no enti because komna edubuan ye MPP the appointee ya ne ho ato asemu a obeka afeva no enti ono o ka ma no say obetime nya ne fa ho die but to be honest no wo hwe de komna edubuan o ye through the letter no a me metimi aka say komna edubuan he's not addressing the charges. What are his evidences to cancel out the charges that the Attorney General has put on him and his accomplices? And no one address it. And what starts a new argument? I dare know this kind of argument, they call it argumentum ad hominem. Sir, obi ayabone, no nim say, on to me, and for evidence. Enyin who free assembly now I started different arguments. So we'll draw into that argument. That is where you were near free assembly. Not just say who waste time. Another thing men notice what Ghana hand say. Nenkrofo binum ka say sa komna edu boan case. One she be last be 5 years. Say 5 years dey not just say ebe to say Cocoa board oponi case no. NDC for say nyame ambo am no ntimi abeto aso after 2028 elections and na say and also MPP for bar ebe bia na cancel case no yes anetie na me ade a menti ase ne say na nsenya Sean Puffy Combs PDD or US judge na or the case no they have to agree a jury. Last week they agreed a jury and started the case, and the judge has assured the public that it will be 8 weeks. There was a lady called Elizabeth Holmes. She set up a company called Theranos in the US, saying that she just needs a prick of blood. She's got a machine and she needs a prick of blood, and instead of getting needles and stuff, just a little drop of blood, she can do all the tests. And she was lying. There was no machine like that. She faked it for a number of years. She was a university dropout. And she came up with this concept. And she faked it and faked it and faked it. And eventually her empire crumbled, when the truth came out that she was lying and she had defrauded people of their funds, those who invested in her Silicon Valley startup. She had defrauded them. So she was sent to jail. Her case, her criminal case didn't last years. It was some months, maybe even if it lasted a year, max. So it was really good to hear that the judge in the Sean Puffy Combs criminal case in the US has told the public that he foresees that he can wrap up the Sean Puffy Combs criminal case in 8 weeks. We need to have some timelines about these criminal cases here in Ghana. And the Attorney General and the judge, between the Attorney General and the judge and the lawyers, they should be able to come up with, say, 8 weeks or 16 weeks, we're going to wrap up this case. This thing of letting cases last, 8 years, like the Opuni case, when it's a criminal case, it's ridiculous, because criminal cases are based on evidence. So if the Attorney General brings his evidence on behalf of the Republic of Ghana, and the other side can't bring superseding evidence, then they are deemed guilty, and then jail sentences are decided. Why does a criminal case have to last 8 years, 9 years, 5 years? There's no need. It's only lasting that duration because people are begging behind the back door, probably. That's the impression that we're getting as citizens of Ghana. Because if nobody is begging back door, why would it take so long to resolve criminal cases? It is simple. Even in certain civil cases, where illegality is at play, and it's about the documentation. If the plaintiff requests of the defendant certain documents, and they provide their documents, it's a foregone conclusion that the judge has to award the case in favor of the plaintiff. For example, if it's an eviction suit, if I provide my ownership documents, and I provide evidence that proves beyond all reasonable doubt that the property belongs to me, and you are the illegal occupant on my property, and you can't provide same or something that supersedes that, and you have basically trespassed onto my property and you're occupying my property, then even if I bring you to a civil court, the judge has to uphold the law and award me my eviction notice. It's simple. But if a judge is corrupted, then they do all sorts of shenanigans, trying to find a way out for the culprits, the criminals. And this is the problem we are facing in Ghana. So there has to be a closer inspection of cases, both criminal cases and civil cases, and the Chief Justice, whoever the Chief Justice is, whether it's going to be Gertrude Tokonu because she comes out of her issue, or a new Chief Justice, they have to now make sure that they frame justice, give us timelines, because there's something called delayance, and delayance can feel like denial, even though it's not, because when you delay something, it just makes people feel frustrated, especially those who are the victims. It's like you're making them suffer for too long. And this is the problem we're having in this country. There needs to be timelines on both civil and criminal cases. When somebody brings a case to the court, the judge should be able to tell both sides that I intend to wrap this case up in 8 weeks, 6 weeks, 1 month. It is simple. If nothing untoward is going on, like any corruption, bribery, corruption is going on at the back door, behind closed doors, then cases shouldn't last more than 8 weeks. Because even with Sean Puffy Combs, with all these so alleged victims, the judge is talking about 8 weeks to wrap the case up. This should be something that we need to address in our judiciary here in Ghana. So, whatever is happening with Kobna Edu Boahene, in summary, what I can say is that if he's going to reveal security secrets, let him reveal it. It doesn't change the fact that if he set up a private limited company to divert funds from the Signals Bureau to his private pockets and use those funds for his own private deals, as alluded to by the Attorney General, if the evidence is there, then he's guilty as far as I'm concerned. Because that should not be happening in a public office. He's a public officer and he should know how to use public funds. He has misused public funds. So let's not try to cover people who do evil, people who do criminal acts, and say that, oh, it's part of the national security architecture. Then it's a bogus national security architecture. It needs to be stopped and it needs to be changed. So, as they say, que sera, sera, what will be, let it be. He should do his damnness and expose the national security architecture of Ghana. We don't care. We, the citizens of Ghana, don't care if Kobna Edu Boahene exposes the security architecture of Ghana, because it's a flawed security architecture. So it needs to be exposed. Yes, because to get change, you must expose. There's a saying, some people say, if some man said to me, he's passed on now, he said, oh, if you can't beat them, join them. And I said, no, if you can't beat them, expose them. So they need to be exposed. The national security architecture of Ghana, which is flawed, needs to be exposed. So whether it comes out publicly or not, we the citizens want a change, because what they've done over the last 8 years has been terrible. So please, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, let Kobna Edu Boahene do his damnness. As far as we are concerned, the allegations and if the evidence to back those charges that the Attorney General has put on, Dominic Ayini has put on Kobna Edu Boahene and his accomplices, his two accomplices, wife and the other person, are true, then justice should be served and they should be convicted, and whatever sentences they are granted or charges or whatever happens. And it's an opportunity for a fresh start to look at how monies are moved around in national security and how they involve the families. Because in America, United States of America and the UK, they don't normally involve the families of the security service agents in security matters. So why do we do it in Ghana? It doesn't make sense to me. Let it make sense to the citizens of Ghana. Please, let this make sense. So far, nothing Kobna Edu Boahene is doing with his letter from remand makes sense. So it's dead on arrival. Let's deal with it. Let's cut out the canker. Also, I saw a video from I think Channel 1 News brought it up, from the US Embassy in Ghana, and they were speaking about how what they don't want citizens of Ghana who are given visas to do in America. Was a sort of information meeting, and and they were explaining how they've granted thousands and thousands of visas to Ghanaians, but when you enter the country, you must abide by the law and not get involved in anything that will make them revoke your visa and prevent you from entering the United States again. So that is it.
To making sure that visitors to the United States obey our laws and regulations. I hope that through the tour today, you were able to see some of the improvements that we've made to the customer experience. The Department of State's top priority is ensuring the safety and securities of U.S. citizens overseas and assisting those who need help away from home. We are also the front line in ensuring the safety of our borders by protecting the United States from illegal immigration and enforcing our own law. We continue to welcome visitors from Ghana who are interested in studying, investing, or doing business in the United States. Last year, the U.S. Embassy issued about 25,000 visas to Ghanaians to come to work, to study, or to visit in the United States. But to enter the United States, visa applicants and visa holders must follow our laws. The United States has zero tolerance for illegal immigration. Those who break the law, including students, may face visa refusals, revocation of their visa, or outright bans from entering the United States. That's why today is so important. We want to make sure that the Ghanaians understand the proper way to apply for visas and what is expected of them when and if they do receive a visa. We are committed to educating Ghanaians about the proper procedures so they can avoid any problems or complications. If you try to enter the United States illegally, if you lie to get a visa, if you work without legal permission, or you overstay beyond the time that is allotted to you to stay in the United States while you have a visa, there will be serious penalties. The Department of State carefully reviews the information that we may indicate visa ineligibilities, including arrests, criminal convictions, and overstays. We use all available tools to ensure the national security of the United States and enforce compliance with our laws. We do look forward to and I am very much hopeful that Ghana will qualify.
Yeah.
And we're also looking forward to hosting the Summer Olympics in 2028. Again, America is very proud to host these two events, and we look forward to welcoming visitors to our shores who follow our rules. And with that, I'm very happy to answer your questions.
Wow. The United States Embassy said that they'd given Ghanaians 25,000 visas were issued to Ghanaians last year. So, wow. Wow. So I'd like to end the episode here. If you like this type of content, like, share, subscribe, and certainly comment. Also, make sure you go to the URL kofi.com, www.kofi.com/coachwright to download the freebies. I've written an ebook, 365 days leadership devotional. And also, I have a book about corruption in the 54 countries in Africa. All those are free downloads. I just want to educate you, and also I believe that the problem we're having in Africa and even in Ghana is leadership. We have a leadership crisis in Africa. So I believe that the more we meditate on the Word of God concerning leadership, the more likely we're going to have better leaders developed in this country. because I know for a fact, because I've experienced it in my life, that the unadulterated word of God works. So kindly go there to kofi.com, so Coach Right, and download the freebies. Also, if you like to contribute to my work, feel free to contribute there. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Bye.